Okay, so now you see what I've been up to. Um, because there's a lot of people involved in the way my business is run, lots of art galleries. I've kept a lot of stuff private, how the art industry works, how it's worked for me, how it hasn't worked for me. I've kept it all private. Artists are very survivalistic creatures. So the funny thing about art is if someone knows how you're moving or what you're doing or this or that or what you're painting with or how you're creating what you're creating, they'll be right on it as fast as you can, take your next breath, and they'll be trying to figure out what it is you're doing, how you're doing it. The amount of people that are trying to figure out my textures and everything that I do, 5-6 years ago when I started painting colorful animals that were, pink and purple moose, maybe some people were doing it, but I never seen it on the scale that I see it now. And right now with COVID, this is a game of survival right now. The galleries are playing a game of survival. The art dealers are playing a game of survival. And now, as an artist, I need to play a game of survival. I've waited long enough. I have some outstanding issues with some people in the art industry that I've given them enough time to make a move, and I've provided all the information I need to provide them for things to be fair between me and them. And I can't stay in limbo anymore. So I've never gone direct to customer before. I don't know, not since, in the past decade. And I don't know how that's going to look for me, but I've gotten a big amount of support ever since COVID started, and I started advertising that I'm going to do prints. Started advertising that I'm going to do clothing, and I'm going to do, I got this studio, and now everybody's interested in the studio, my space, and all this new art that I've been packing up, and I'm just getting it ready. Maybe I should have done like a online art gallery showing and ran a video past every picture so you could see the textures in them. But if you know my artwork already, you know what I'm known for. I'm known for bright colors, and I'm known for texture, and pretty soon I'm going to be known for doing $5,000 paintings that will light up under a black light. So I went through all of Southern Ontario and bought up as much of the neon paint as I could when COVID was happening, because a lot of paint stores weren't producing paint, and I figured it was as good a time as any to get ahead of the curve. And that's what I chose to do, because I came across this idea and I was like, man, this is killer. So it works good with my style, and I like it, and I'm having fun with it. And I spend a lot of time in nightclubs and around some black lights, and for me it was good. And this is just regular Rockstar, by the way. I don't drink. I heard they're going to discontinue this brand. What am I going to do? I might have to drink water. Who knows? And yeah, it's water. But back to everything. What's going on with the art industry? I don't know. I have seen a lot of galleries close. I've seen a lot of galleries that had some of my artwork. I gave my artwork to a third-party company, and they put my art in galleries, and they were telling me that some of the galleries were closing and not giving the art back. So they're out money because they bought off me directly. Now, with that being said, how's it going to work with a lot of stuff? Shit trickles downhill. So when one guy doesn't get paid, another guy doesn't get paid, and it lands in my lap that, things aren't going to work out the way I want them to. So when people get laid off, or when people end up in a turmoil situation, you can't just sit there waiting for a phone call, being on someone else's schedule. So I'm sitting here with all this art, and people don't want to take it because they're waiting on what the next guy's going to do or what the next guy's going to do. Well, I've waited 2.5 months to find out what those people are going to do, and I'm not going to wait any longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this clothing line, I'm going to build these prints, and I'm going to put these paintings on the internet, cheaper than you can find them in a gallery, and I hope you buy them all up, and I hope you enjoy the fact that you got a discount on a $4,000 or $5,000 painting, because I'm not sticking around to find out what other people are doing and how long it's going to take them to do it. So I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it, but I know that I want to give you a massive discount because you should get one, because you've showed me a ton of support. I have a lot of support, and everything is a matter of survival at this point in time in the game of the world. And I don't think it's going to decrease the value of my artwork by any means, because there's still a lot in circulation at the price. But if you're going to come directly to me, then I'll give you a deal off of retail, because you won't have to go to retail, because right now retail's not taking my current stuff. So instead of getting stuck here with a bunch of stuff that most people would charge a lot of money for, I'm still going to charge a lot of money for it, because the pieces are great. Put a lot of good craftsmanship into them, but it's not going to be what you're going to pay retail. So you should contact me. So what I need you to do is I need you to be patient. I'm figuring out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get this art into your hands as quick as possible. So if I don't get it set up and you see something that you like, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on YouTube, hit me up wherever you find me at Port of the Artist, and get a hold of me, because I'll hook you up. I can't just keep waiting anymore to find out what's going on. The industry is going through a lot of changeovers, and I think the fact that I like having someone manage my stuff. I like being able to just paint and not have to worry about selling. I really like that because it works for me. It just works for my way of life. It works for me being able to spend more time with my kids. And maybe if I was a single guy, I would just hustle everything myself, but I'm not. I have a big family, and I like spending lots of time with them. So I don't mind losing a little bit of money to have someone manage me, but it hasn't been a little bit of money. It's been a lot of money, and that's got to change. So I've kind of made some demands, and we'll see where it lands me, because hopefully when people see that I'm going to start selling all these pieces, they're going to start taking me seriously and call me and, straighten things out, because I'm not trying to be a dick, but you know what? I'm not sitting around and letting other people be a dick to me either. So I have to get stuff up and running, and the world is changing. YouTube, the internet, Facebook, Instagram, there's these tools out there that were never there before, and marketing is changing. You can buy a Facebook ad, you can invest in yourself, you can do what you got to do, and I've never really put the time or effort into it, because I just never really, there's just so much to learn. And now that I'm like sitting here trying to figure out what I need to learn, there's a lot to learn. I'm learning how to build websites, learning computers. I recently got Mac gear because I'm an artist, so everything I have is Mac. I made the switch about a year ago, and it's taken some time. All the audio software I know how to use from Windows is now on Mac, so I've had to learn all new stuff with that. I make my own videos, I make my own soundtracks, I make my own music, I make my own art, I'm learning everything. I got studio stuff on top of studio stuff on top of studio stuff. I got photo stuff, video stuff, audio stuff, and visual stuff to manage. It's a lot. So I hope by the time I'm 45, I will be a monster. because it's just a matter of, taking your life from one vision to another. I mean, it comes down to, what are you going to do with your life, man? You got a life. You're going to let other people control it. You're going to let other people run your destiny. You're going to let other people get all up in your stuff. Nah, not this guy. So what I propose is, if you see something you like, you let me know. All right? You let me know. Because from now on, I think I'm just going to run an art gallery on YouTube, and I'm going to post what's going on. And you hit me up and tell me what you want. And let's make a deal. So Porter, the artist, making waves, I suppose, doing what I do best. And that's painting pictures, kicking ass, and I'm all out of paint. Cheers. Whoa. Never out of paint. And these make money. So I use them for one thing right now, and that's doing this. Thanks for your support. The clothing's coming soon. I haven't forgot about it. I haven't forgot about you. It's coming. But like I said, if you're going to do something, do it friggin' well. Do it so well that everybody remembers it for the rest of your friggin' life, because you did it so friggin' awesome. And if I call you, if I pick up the phone and I call you and you get a phone call and it says Mr. Awesome, it's me. Because I'm awesome. Nah, funny story though, for real. So we get the kids some phones, and then my phone comes up as Brian Porter. And I'm like, I don't want it to say Brian Porter. That's kind of whack. And I'm thinking Porter the artist. And I'm like, it's my handle. But I mean, I don't really want it to say Porter the artist is calling you either. So the lady's like, well, what do you want it to say? And I was like, I'm just being a smart ass. And I'm like, well, how about Mr. Awesome? And she goes, yeah, all right. I'm like, wait, what? What? Because when my boy was a kid, we used to call him Mr. Awesome, because he'd walk around with headphones, and I just thought the kid was so awesome. And then the next kid was so awesome, and I have all these little awesomes, and it's really cool. And she goes, yeah, I can do that. And I was like, all right, can you make my wife Mrs. Awesome? And she's like, oh my God, this is the cutest thing I've ever heard of. And I was like, well, it's going to be pretty cool when she finally uses her phone and doesn't realize that it says Mrs. Awesome when she calls somebody. So she ends up having to call the car dealership, and they're like, Mrs. Awesome? And she's like, what? And they're like, yeah, is your real name Mrs. Awesome? And she's like, no, it's Mrs. Porter. And they're like, oh, okay, well, your phone says Mrs. Awesome. And she's like, well, that was my husband. He thinks he's awesome. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I thought it was the funniest shit you could possibly do to a pair of cell phones. So with that said, have a good night. All right? Peace.